Hi everybody, welcome back to Dishing with Dush. And yes, I know it's been a while since we posted a video and we have truly missed you guys, but me and my team have been very busy upping our game. And I think the most obvious difference that you're going to see is this set. This amazing kitchen was designed by Häcker Sri Lanka and it is a dream to cook in. So I'm truly excited to share my first recipe out of here with you, and that is going to be an egg fried rice. Now the reason I picked this recipe was because I've been binging on Uncle Roger videos, and if you haven't seen his videos, what are you doing? Just stop this video right now and go check his stuff out. He is wildly funny. So basically, Uncle Roger is this character played by Nigel Ang, and it's an Asian uncle who has a YouTube channel and he reviews these recipes by British chefs, and in particular these recipes for fried rice, and they've gone viral because he tends to shred these chefs apart. And because I've been binging on these, I felt compelled to share my favorite recipe for fried rice with you. So let's see what happens. So to start off this recipe, what we're going to do is start assembling the different components for the egg fried rice in stages. So this is a little different to how most people do it. Now, I'm not a big fan of fried rice when it tastes really eggy, and that tends to happen when you scramble the eggs. So this is going to be a little different. And it might be a little technically challenging for some of you, but it's really a no-brainer. If you just follow these steps, you're gonna get a fried rice that is out of this world. So first we're gonna crack all the eggs, and this is an entire pack, because it is an egg fried rice, so we're gonna need a ton of it. And there we go. And we're gonna add a pinch of salt. Whisk it all up. In the meanwhile, get your stove going on a medium-high flame, and I highly recommend a non-stick pan for this one because your egg will start sticking. We're going to do something a little tricky here, so trust me on this, non-stick. And what we're going to do now is oil our pan, and not too much. And we're going to use a paper towel, rub it evenly all over the pan. You don't want too much oil. We'll keep it handy because we're going to use this alternating between each fry of the egg. So, right. And make sure this is evenly heated through. And that's what we're going to do. Right. Make sure your pan is hot enough and immediately put the excess back into your bowl. And you want a really thin layer of egg, and you're gonna start taking it off the pan the moment it looks a bit dry. It should still be a little bit moist. Yeah, so there we go. We have our first omelette. There we go. And it literally takes seconds, so don't cook it till it's completely dry. You want it to be a little bit moist. And essentially we'll get these beautiful, like wafer thin omelets that are almost see-through. It's so thin. And you continue until you finish up your entire bowl. So now that we have our eggs, what we're gonna do is lay them out kind of like this. Some of them might be rolled up when you got them off the pan. Just make sure to unfurl them and unwrap it. And then once you have it all laid out, kind of roughly give it a roll. And get your knife and slice it as finely as you can. As you can see, we're gonna get them shredded real fine. And we're gonna go through all the way with that, right to the end. And there we have a super fine shredded omelette. And what we're gonna do is, clean up real quick. Carry on chopping up the rest of our vegetables that we need for this dish. And of course, no fried rice is complete without green onions. Give it a rough chop to the middle. Yeah, bunch it all up. Hold it tight. Remember, go all the way to the end. You want the little bits of onion in there as well, not just the leaf. So, because the little purple is going to add a nice pop of color to your rice. So that goes back in the bowl it came from. And this gets as torturous as cutting real onions as you get to the bases. It's pretty strong, making me tear up. So now we're down to the final ingredient that needs to be chopped up, and this is an all-time favorite. Just like the green onions, I think shiitake mushrooms is right up there when it comes to flavor, and something like a fried rice, it just completely changes it. And this is what my mom used to do. So this recipe is really me trying to recreate what my mother used to make for us as kids. Unfortunately, this is not the recipe that she used to make. I'm just trying to create it from memory, but I think it comes pretty close. And slice them really thin. Now these are not fresh shiitake mushrooms, although they look quite fresh and plump. These are just dehydrated mushrooms that are soaked up in water. You can do that, and just in half an hour so they plump right back up and they're good as new. Now this rice is quite subtle when it comes to its flavor. We've layered a whole bunch of different flavors. Like we have the egg. Like I said, I don't like it too eggy. The green onion is very mild when it cooks down. And the rice, you'll see in a bit, I've pre-cooked, but I did it replacing half the water with chicken stock. I've diluted the chicken stock because, again, I don't want it tasting too chickeny, but just savory enough that it gives a little oomph. So when all these different elements come through, it's just magic in your mouth. The only element that probably will stick out a little bit is probably the shiitake. On top of this, add shredded chicken or prawns or anything that you like. You could omit the mushroom if, mushrooms is not your thing. You could just leave everything out altogether and just add the egg, and you have a standard egg fried rice too. So you can make this as complicated or as simple as you like. It's up to you. Right, and that's it. Now essentially all that's left is to combine all these ingredients, and for that we are not going to use a saucepan, God forbid. We are going to use an actual wok. So all that's left to do now is to toss everything in together, and let's get this wok going. Pretty high flame, and we get some clear vegetable oil. Again, something that does not have too much flavor. Do not use olive oil, for example. And once this gets heated up a bit, we're gonna start with our mushroom instead of our garlic, because we want this to cook down a bit. And in that time, we don't want the garlic to overcook and burn. So we're gonna start with the mushroom. And when it starts to cook down a bit, that's when we'll go in with the garlic. When it's half cooked, I'm gonna add the garlic. And I got this nifty little gadget for mincing it, so I don't need to get my hands dirty again. But these are giant cloves. Hopefully it fits in there. Oh yeah, okay. So we'll go about 3 or 4 whole cloves. I think 3 should do it. And after adding the garlic, we're not gonna cook this for too much longer. We're gonna add in our rice. And now what I've done is I've pre-cooked it, and I didn't have the time to do it overnight. So what I've done is put it in, well, the freezer in this case, because I needed it to cool real quickly. But you could leave it in the fridge for an hour or 2. And then you have the texture you need. Now you don't want to put freshly cooked rice because it will mulch up and you're gonna have sludgy fried rice, which is no good. So Oh, looking beautiful. And we are gonna add MSG, because you cannot make Chinese food without MSG. I mean, you just can't. And you need a little bit more salt. You can lower the temperature of your stove just a little bit. And in we go with the eggs and the green onion. And actually, I'm going to switch off the heat at this point and just give it a good toss through. To make sure everything is mixed well through. There you go, guys. That's pretty much my mom's shiitake fried rice. And all that's left to do is to serve up and again. I mean, I love the colors. I just love how much egg there is in all of this, but it's really not that eggy, funnily enough. So, let's see. You know what? All the different elements work so well together. It's just enough egg that it's an egg fried rice. But the shiitake, the green onions, and even the chicken stock just adds a little oomph, like I said. And it just works together so harmoniously. Unbelievable. I just could eat this every day. My mom was a genius, I think. Love it, love it. You have to try this recipe. As you can see, it wasn't that difficult. It just had a few steps. The egg was probably the most complicated, but again, even if you mess it up, you know, it's still going to taste great. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead, give it a try. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you loved the episode, please recommend it to your friends. We would love to see this channel grow so we can bring you more and more interesting recipes. And if you have any suggestions, please do let us know. Thank you, guys. Stay blessed.